awesome! Wait! Monomi's such a dumb child.
Hey! Hey, hey!
That's... Anyway... Bye-bye!
I won't let you!
Hey, hey! Huh?
Damn it!
Well... How about it?
What do you yearn for?
See?
I'm gonna do it! What?
Hey!
No. That's... Well now.
Yoo-hoo!
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who. If you vote correctly, then only I'll punish everyone besides the. Oh well, who cares about this boring
I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out. You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
But Nagito's not alone.
You're fine.
Empty head? Listen up! The emptier your head, the more
Anyway, we shouldn't proceed with the trial if those two can't participate in the arguments. Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Haji?
Then, let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Mikan, Fuyuhiko, and me.
The other 5 on the motel team were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms. We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after I made Mikan rest in the on-call room, since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then, I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was... a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder.
Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story! And then what did you...
I tried to stop them, of course. I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded. But it was too late. By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue, and unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least, that's what I thought. The only person who came with me was...
But I remember feeling a little relieved because not long after...
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then, I noticed if coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko. So I fled with him.
Darius, wait!
Don't say it like that and confuse...
After I heard from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag. So I immediately led them to the music.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the four of us broke down the door. And when that happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body. We also found Hiyoko's. And not just that. Her body was taped to a pillar.
That's when we heard the body discovery announcement. Not once, but twice in a row.
And so, we decided...
When we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared.
So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Well, it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who...
Wait, how do I know anything Hajime just said is true? Sorry, I'm only being impartial right now. And the story I just heard... Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the Hank, then you could be lying as much as you want right now.
Lie? Why would I lie?
Obviously. So you could make us ignore what might be an inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me?
If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it. Come on, try to prove it to me. Prove... Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie means it probably is Hajime's fault. Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie, then the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny that. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie means it probably is Hajime's fault. Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
With Hajime's testimony and the fact that
That would also be...
I don't think I can deny. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously, because
Did Hajime kill both of
the fact that the bodies were imitating the movie means it probably is Hajime's fault. Hajime's testimony...
With Hajime's and the fact that Ibuki...
That would also be...
I don't think I can deny that. After all, Hajime's...
Why would Hajime lie?
Well, obviously, because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie... No, that's wrong!
I'm not the killer! I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
Of course you're not. I already knew that.
Huh?
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time. Isn't that right, Monokuma?
Yes, no mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, could commit murders that imitated it. Or did anyone tell him what happens in the movie? Of course no one...
Hold on a sec! You're the one who brought this up in the first...
Nagito, what are you doing?
Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation. It also provides a good warm-up.
What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know.
Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really...
What a waste of time. Well, now then, since we know Hajime's test...
So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it! Ibuki committed...
If Ibuki committed suicide,
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide ain't possible, huh?
Like I said before, it's pretty clear what the problem with this... The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
then let's ask Hajime. How long would you...
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no...
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed room?
The killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not—
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
They were?
If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who— And that's you two! So—
Me too?
What the hell? Why's it gotta be us?
the others all have alibis. Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, me too!
Hey, why are you talking? You're kidding, right? You're not. Please stop making bad jokes.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall! Is this...
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the... door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was... hiding inside, waited till we gathered together, and suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had just rushed over.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The killer was still inside the music by locking the door from the inside.
No, that's wrong! Hold on a sec. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
From the outside? How?
There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
Semi-transparent glob? Like rubber, maybe?
That semi-transparent glob must have been glue.
Glue?
Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm, gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth. Based on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
I didn't know glue was edible.
I believe it is not something one typically eats.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, they must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly. But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know? That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so? It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think—
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
in a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it—
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Even quick work has limits.
Aww, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
But when Hajime got to the venue,
And when you went back with everyone else, Hiyoko's body was there too, right? But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hiyoko was actually killed early. Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
That scrap of paper, is that—
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway? Got it!
That scrap. Isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room? In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there?
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting with the tear in the wallpaper, see? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was a
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's?
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that. But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
It's all coming together! I got it! Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there. However, because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize that at the time.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar, so using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
The reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that pillar.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wall, and because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
The killer must have been in a hurry. Their plan took too long. Hajime could have walked in on them.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body and the pillar is very...
The crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the...
Then, when was Hyoko actually killed?
Good point. And it's about time we shed some light on those imitation...
You mentioned
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? The Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Hey! Don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission!
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
I don't eat moss! I knew it! There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death. Not just that, but Hyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
It's as if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble?
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult. I see!
The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
Then, Hyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
You've mean. If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess
I'm not even
I'll let you sob as much as you want later.
What a jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to
And even big...
Look, Ibuki died because that means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed. That would mean Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as light... Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequate.
Man, he's being annoying again.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the... How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like...
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic...
You're one to...
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence!
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
Were there even any footprints at the crime scene?
Maybe her feet were on the floor. But she was like sitting or something. So instead, there'd be a mark on her ass.
Weak, weak, weak! It doesn't even pierce my heart!
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet...
I am telling you to
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on?
I agree with that! Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint bloodstains on the soles of her slippers.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Then it's Hiyoko's blood!
Hyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood...
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact—
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye! Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime.
Does that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But, are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious... You're so frightened you can't... However, the time for conviction starts now! You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor. You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about 1 minute. Did you see a nice nightmare? You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor. You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about 1 minute. Did you see a nice nightmare?
As long as Ibuki's body has no open wounds, there's no doubt that that blood is Hiyoko's.
Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had blood. However, you cannot step on the pillar with your feet. You should feel it's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, then it's possible that the pillar still had blood. However, you cannot step on the pillar with your feet. You should... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on. However, you cannot step on the pillar with your feet. You should... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had... However, you cannot step on the pillar with your... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on. However, you cannot step on the pillar. You should feel it's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, then it's possible that the pillar still had blood. However, you cannot step on the pillar. It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on. However, you cannot step on the pillar. You should feel it's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had blood. However, you cannot step on the pillar with your... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on it. However, you cannot step on the pillar with... You should feel proud. It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on it. However, you cannot step on the pillar with... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on it. However, you cannot step on the pillar with... You should feel proud. It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on it. However, you cannot step on the pillar with your feet. You should... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. then it's possible that the pillar still had blood. However, you cannot step on the pillar with your... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. Then it's possible that the pillar still had blood on. However, you cannot step on the pillar with... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power. Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes, but it's possible that however, you can... It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my...
Damn it!
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor. You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about 1 minute. See a nice nightmare. You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet. Ha! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor.
Allow me to cut through those words! It's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the kill...
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but... Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open. And
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped... Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating. So I don't think they had to go that...
Aside from Mikon, none of us were aware of that fact. So the killer probably...
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue, so...
That's right! I didn't know the time of death...
The time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object. Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat. Fine then. But regardless of good or evil...
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time, too?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
The same as always, you have to vote for who the... Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all. Unfortunately, that means there's no Blacken to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Why me?
Nagito? What do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death. But I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
That's totally impossible! Then she never would have killed her to begin with!
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means that...
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after, the killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive! When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, that's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
She hanged herself. Remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that.
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging. Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. There's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free. To search for the killer.
What the heck?
There's still one. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video? According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean...
Forced? Perhaps.
I don't know anything about...
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious.
So, then our plan is to destroy the Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera...
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some...
Then, the video had...
What time did Hajime
I saw it at the hospital, right before, and I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's and since we established that Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence!
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi!
Aside from those afflicted, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
We can exclude... the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the...
Right before I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel...
So everyone who stayed at the motel...
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the...
So everyone who stayed at...
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about... the others?
Right before the... morning... announcement. I was totally sleeping in my
I think everyone at the...
So everyone who stayed at...
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then...
No, that's wrong! Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi. In fact, Mikan and I both have alibis.
You two have alibi?
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikan and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime.
Too much info.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterward, so we...
I get it. You guys have alibis.
If that's the case, the killer must be...
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process. Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movie?
Are you saying there was another reason?
I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
Hiya!
Stop it! I'm on it. We were...
Huh. It suddenly got quiet in here. Did I confuse you? If so,
Man.
if that's the case... It would have been just dandy if they had gone ahead and killed me too. If that happened, the imitation would have been perfect.
Well, it's against the rules to kill.
That rule is too harsh. I couldn't get killed because...
Seriously, just shut up already!
But I'm thinking about it again, and he's totally right. It feels incomplete.
Because they didn't kill 3 people like the movie did? That's only because of Monokuma's rule.
It's not just that. Come on. About the lion that got...
That's the one Hyoko's...
Even though we're calling it an imitation... But Hyoko's body was suspended by... Maybe they just used a common substitute because it was too difficult to imitate the arrows. Well, that's probably it, but... That if falsifying the murder sequence was the killer's plan, they should have taken steps to properly imitate...
But if we never realized it was a half-assed imitation, their entire plan would have been completely useless.
What are you trying to say? Are you saying the imitation wasn't planned?
I'm saying... Hyoko's murder wasn't.
What?
I understand that imitation wasn't enough, but it's not just the poor imitation. There are also other strange details.
Strange detail.
Like, for example, why did Hyoko go to the museum?
So, you're saying the truth?
I have no freaking clue why you...
However, this is...
Why did Hyoko go to the museum? And there's no way we'd know that!
Maybe the killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the kid.
No, maybe
She went of her own free will.
I agree with that. It's just as Sonia said. She went to the music venue of her own free will.
So, exactly as I assumed.
If no one called for her, then why did she go?
Yoko locked herself in her room because she was being overly cautious of the despair disease, you know? I don't think a person like that would leave their room just because someone called for them.
There's no way she got him. Kyoko locked the room she was staying in before she went out.
If she was forcibly taken from her room, there's no way she would have had time to lock it.
The killer could have locked her door, right? Just to hide the fact Hiyoko got abducted.
Then they couldn't have hidden her room key that deep in her kimono. They would have put it somewhere more obvious. Otherwise, there's no point in messing with the crime scene if nobody finds the key. At the time, you were the one who actually took out the key, right? Then something like that...
I won't lose! Are you saying my gut was wrong? This could be my first and last highlight of the day. Why won't you...
No! That's not...
Shut up! Enough with your fancy... Hiyoko was locked inside her room, right? She definitely got abducted or something. The killer forced their way into Hiyoko's room and forcibly abducted her! The girl is so small and weak-looking. And that's why the killer targeted her!
But Hiyoko's room was locked. The key was deep inside her kimono, remember? It's more likely that Hiyoko locked the door herself.
The killer was the one who locked the door! So what if the key was in her kimono? Maybe the killer just put it there later! The killer was the one who locked the door! So what if the key was in her kimono? Maybe the killer just put it there later!
There's no reason for the killer to put the key in Hiyoko's kimono. The killer probably didn't realize she even had the key.
Hold on! Try remembering Hiyoko's body! Her kimono was all messed up! There's only one reason her kimono would be that messed up. She fought the killer!
Allow me to cut through those words! The reason Hiyoko's kimono was messed up was because she wasn't able to properly wear it.
Wear her kimono?
Yeah, it's also the reason why she decided to go out on her own.
Kyoko seemed to be really struggling with where... I believe that was one of the... That is why I informed her. I told her that there was a full-length mirror at the music venue, and I suggested that she use it.
Then, the reason her kimono was messed up wasn't because she fought the killer.
Yeah, she went to the venue on her own just to fix her messed up kimono.
I get it. I lost. Boil me, burn me, take off my clothes, do whatever—
Hajime, now's your chance! Make her admit defeat.
Then, the killer probably couldn't have assumed that Hiyoko would go to the music venue.
Though that may not apply to Sonia, since she provided Hiyoko with that information.
Though I knew she would go there, there is no way I could have predicted—
Don't go doubting Miss Sonia, you cretin! I'll put you and your hamsters sick—
Kazuichi. Do you want me to incinerate your clothes?
Gundam, please stop! For his...
Huh? What do you mean for my...
Of course! I've already overlooked no less than 10 opportunities.
Even if the killer couldn't predict it, why did Hiyoko get killed in the music venue?
The only thing I can think of is...
Coincidence?
When she went to the venue by herself, she was probably just unlucky and walked in on the crime scene.
She was killed so there wouldn't be any loose ends?
It probably happened when the killer was preparing to kill Ibuki. The killer most likely had already placed the hemp bag over her head, and without...
Killed Hiyoko.
Because the killer used that coincidence for their crime, it made this case even...
That's the reason they imitated the movie to falsify the murder sequence.
Which means that low-down scoundrel didn't plan on committing imitation murders at...
Then what was the killer actually planning to do? They've been cunning this far. There's no way they'd kill Ibuki without a plan. Do you have any...
Damn, we don't know the most important part.
Hey Nagito, any ideas?
Hey, how long are you gonna stay quiet?
Oh, am I allowed to speak? I'm so happy I'm getting...
So what do you think?
I was thinking about it while I had my mouth shut. But now Ibuki definitely didn't commit suicide.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I thought there might be a possibility that she faked her death and tampered with the crime. But now I remember. There was blood on Ibuki's slipper. So if she faked her death and walked around the music venue tampering with the crime scene, there'd be bloody footprints left in various places throughout the... So that's why I think there's no way she faked her death. There's no way Ibuki...
You know, we already finished talking about that a while ago.
That's annoying. I guess I should just awkwardly...
Are you freaking kidding me?
That's strange.
This is strange?
Crap! I can prove it with this! If Ibuki used the stepladder to hang herself, it's strange that there weren't any footprints on it.
Huh?
Yeah, that stepladder was completely clean. No foot...
You noticed such a small detail! How amazing! This is truly the talent of a chosen ultimate!
Didn't you say you saw that video of Ibuki climbing the stepladder? Then, I think there's no doubt that she really... Unless there was something funny about that video.
I see. So there was some kind of trick arranged in that video,
But that's something only Hajime would know, since he's the only one who saw that video.
Hajime, I leave it in your hands.
As long as I leave this to you, I won't tell you to do your best, but...
Yeah, I'll definitely... Damn it! Here! That's right, I remember now. There was
Can you explain?
What's strange is that stepladder. It's true that the steps of that stepladder weren't dirty, but on one side, there was a bloodstain, right on the left side of the However, that There weren't any bloodstains on the stepladder in the video.
That is truly If the video showed the moment of Ibuki's death, then Hiyoko should have already been dead by that point.
Even so, the fact is the stepladder had blood on it at the actual... But the stepladder in the video was
And there's no way the video was recorded in advance. If that's the case...
It's possible those two stepladders were completely different.
Wait, are you saying there were...
But where would you find another stepladder? There was only one stepladder in the music venue.
Then one of the stepladders was somewhere other than the music venue. What do you mean?
You're suggesting that the stepladder in the video isn't the only thing that's different. Am I right? That's amazing, Chiaki! All that gaming has given you an...
That's right. Besides the stepladder, the filming location.
What do you mean?
I mean, the video I saw was not filmed at the music venue. It was filmed somewhere else.
But the hospital monitor is supposed to display footage captured by the music venue.
Then, there's a possibility that the killer also
It's all coming together! That's it. The killer with it. They made me think it was a live feed from the venue.
Then only the monitor was left in the music venue?
Yes, at least when But when Hyoko's body appeared, the killer probably...
That means you should have realized that from the start and made this easier on all...
He did discover the body. I doubt his attention was focused on the...
Well, that's true. In order to hide that the camera was missing, the killer did one more thing to the remaining monitor. I see! The killer smashed the monitor to pieces. As long as it was in pieces, you wouldn't be able to... My attention was so focused on the body that even I couldn't have noticed something like that.
And the moment Hajime left the music venue, the killer put back the camera they took.
and they destroyed it and left that in pieces as well.
It's easy to say it was filmed somewhere else, but the surveillance camera's connection wasn't that strong.
Despite Kazuichi's desperate repair efforts, it seems it could not transmit.
The fact that it was able to connect between the hospital and the music venue is amazing enough.
Got it! Possible that it was filmed at the hospital's conference room.
Huh?
But the hospital and the music venue look completely different.
That's exactly why the killer did something to make those two places resemble each other.
There's no way the conference room and the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue?
There's no way the conference and the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music, or did the music venue look like the conference room?
Or did they make some kind of set?
There's no way the conference room and the music venue.
Which place was it? Did the conference room look like, or did the music venue look like?
Or did they make some kind of set?
There's no way the and the music venue.
Which place was it? Did the conference room look like, or did the music venue?
Or did they make some kind of set?
They might have tampered with the camera.
I still can't believe he mixed Hajime. You're pretty stupid.
There's no way the conference room and the music venue look the same.
Which place resembled the other? Did the conference room look like the music venue? Or did the music venue look like the conference room?
That must be it! What the killer did was make the music venue the crime scene. They did that by using the black curtain hanging at the back of the...
From what I remember, there used to be a really flashy curtain, but after the it somehow became a plain black curtain that didn't seem to be the right size.
That's right! It's so half-assed, just like my...
Oh yeah? Well, your face.
That curtain was hung so the music venue would look like the conference room? In actuality, even though the curtain in the conference room doesn't stand out, it is a black light-blocking curtain that's long enough to reach the floor.
I see. The conference room. Indeed, the floor of that room is... the same color as the music venue stage. So the killer chose the conference room because they realized the floor matched.
Matching floors, matching curtains. I guess it makes sense you'd mistake the two.
But that's not all. There should be something else the killer did to tamper with the evidence. Probably.
I can prove it with this! You're referring to the candle in the music venue, right? In the video I saw, a candle was used for lighting. But if you think about it, it's pretty strict. The music venue has good lighting, so there's no reason to even use candlelight.
But wouldn't they have done it to make it feel creepier?
That might have been another reason, but the main reason was probably to tamper with evidence. The lighting in the conference room and the music venue are so different. They couldn't be used during filming. That's why the killer used a candle as film lighting instead.
Which means... are you saying the candle in the music venue was...
That candle was likely placed there just to make me think it was the same...
With candlelight, you can't see things in that much detail. Maybe they were going for that effect. With that cheap-ass camera, it won't capture much in a dark...
As long as this all matches up, it should be no problem to say this is the video I saw wasn't filmed at the music venue. It was...
If I'd found proof that evidence in the conference room was altered, we would have reached an answer sooner. But it appears the killer already covered that up.
But there's no mistake. That's the only place within the connection range of the surveillance camera.
The motel would have been too far, And the interior design of the movie theater is too.
But this must be a surprising turn of events for Hot. You never suspected that the video you saw in the hospital was being filmed.
The incident isn't happening at the scene of a crime. It's occurring.
If Ibuki's hanging video was filmed at the hospital's conference room, then was Ibuki killed at the conference room too?
No, that's not. Right after Hajime saw that video, he discovered Ibuki's body.
I see! The person wearing the hint bag in that video wasn't Ibuki. It was the killer pretending to be Ibuki. The killer put on a hospital gown, wore a hint bag on their head, and was only pretending to be the victim.
By that time, the real Ibuki must...
The actual time of death must have been earlier. Probably around midnight or dawn to avoid witnesses.
If they took Ibuki from the music venue to the hospital to kill her, there's no way it happened during the day.
But why did the killer go to the trouble of making a...
The reason the killer made a fake video. There's only one possibility I can think of. Then naturally, the killer's identity.
Huh?
You feed!
You're the only one! Nikon. Like I said, aren't you the killer who murdered Ibuki and Hiyoko?
Hey, a chick like her as the killer? She couldn't even kill a fly. In fact, the fly would...
She's right! A clumsy slowpoke like me killing...
But we're the only ones. Thanks to that video, we're the only ones who have the advantage of an alibi.
An alibi? Was that the killer's goal?
Now that you mention it, you guys brought that up earlier. Only Hajime...
It's just a coincidence.
But you're the only one who could have filmed that video in the hospital con. Is that also a coincidence? At that time, you said you were going to the on-call room, but you actually went to the conference room. That's when you put on a hospital gown that you prepared in advance, put the bag on your head, and began filming. By doing that, you made up a video that showed Ibuki and showed that to me. Furthermore, I saw that video at the hospital lobby. If someone wants to go to the conference room from outside, they have to pass through the...
So it's impossible that someone who wasn't already in the hospital went to the conference room to film.
Not only that, the others in the hospital, Akane...
So that must be...
Wait! What are you saying? That's impossible!
It's not literally impossible.
Just shows she can't even do that.
Hey, you sure this chick...
Wrong! It's totally wrong! It's not what you...
Just like Akane said, it is really hard to tie it all together.
I agree. It is truly difficult to believe someone could be...
That slow-witted remark...
It's fine. I've been in a tournament for social punching bags. I'd easily win first place with my soft reputation. Even how many times do I have to tell you?
What do you
Do you still believe?
Hey, Hajime!
Can you hold on? Well, I know I'm being intrusive and all. I missed all of the critical parts, and I doubt I have anything worth saying at an
What are you saying?
But still, there's definitely no... I thought it was suspicious all over. Investigating with the suspect in mind creates a different result than investigating with no leads.
Hey, what are you...
Well, thanks to that. What? Are you... I've been so focused on everybody else this trial. But I guess now's a good time to say it, right?
You better not have kept quiet on purpose. This isn't a game, you know!
Actually,
Please don't say such controversial Well, what?
Well, it's nothing big, really.
Dang! Decisive.
Let's take a look. Regarding the rope Ibuki was dead, this rope was supplied by the supermarket, right?
Again with the supermarket? That place is a hotspot for criminal goods.
If they got it at the supermarket, that means it was brand new, right?
What's wrong with that?
I want you to take a close look at this rope. And keep in mind that it's brand new. Near the middle of the rope, it's frayed, as if it was rubbed. But why is it like this? The loop Ibuki used to hang herself was on one end of the rope, and the part of the rope that hung from the baton lighting is on the other.
Hey, you're taking too long.
It means, well, from what I can infer, the killer wrapped the rope around Ibuki's neck, pulled both ends at full strength, and the center of the rope is frayed because that's the part they used to strangle Ibuki.
Hold on. I've been listening to you for a while, and it sounds like you knew about this rope clue. What exactly did you say to me during the investigation?
Not everyone cooperates at a class trial. Those who lie and conceal, just like this case's killer. I was just copying them a little.
Huh? More importantly, what was all that about the rope? The killer strangled Ibuki. And then
I finished speaking.
Huh?
How is that a...
Huh? You didn't notice it? Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too. Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too. Scars? You mean the rope burn?
But we believed it. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's
The body at the crime scene was hanged. Obviously, we
The Monokuma file, it never specified hanging.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Crap! Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too. Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to... To blame!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too. Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone? The body at the crime scene was Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die, she was strangled to death.
That's basically the same.
Though hanging and strangling, the scars they leave would look different too. Scars? You mean the...
But we believed it was for... Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged,
Crap! Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different. Two. Scars? You mean the rope?
But we believed it was... Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too. Scars? You mean... The rope burned, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be? Did we...
You fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same.
Though hanging and strangling, the scars they leave would look different. Scars? You mean the rope?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
That must be it! So that's what happened. We've been falling for the killer's lie this whole time. You said Ibuki hanged herself, but that was a
That is...
You told us the wrong cause of death. You lied, didn't you?
should have been able to tell the difference between hanging and you, Mikon, the ultimate nurse.
First of all, I'm not a coroner, so I don't have the medical. That's why.
You are right. And you have been a great help to us so far.
But even a drunk medical student can notice the difference between a hanging and strangulation.
I'm not taking her side or anything, but being clumsy and unskilled in this area could lead to a mistake.
He's totally right.
Mikon nursed me till I got better.
Don't you think her devotion to nursing is what helped her draw Ibuki to her?
Huh?
And if not, her symptoms were still very serious. And it wouldn't surprise me if she willingly followed Mikon because she was nursing her.
So Mikon volunteered to nurse us? Because she was planning to do this all along?
That's a little... Aren't you like the thief who suspects everyone else of being thieves?
I'm not a criminal. Mikon is.
You've got it all wrong. Please.
I'm sorry, but I just can't forgive this.
Forgiveness or not.
Well, if that's the choice everyone makes. But is that really okay?
You're friggin' annoying!
There's no.
Is that really true?
Stop it already! That's enough!
I can't stop. I don't want to do this either. Of course I don't. But I need to do.
You doubt your...
That's not it. I suspect them because I want to believe them.
What the hell
I don't think belief and doubt are necessarily opposites.
Huh?
I do doubt her. But cause if there's no room to...
Don't say deeps.
If you want to believe in someone, belief without doubt is simply a lie.
Fine. Do whatever you want. I won't stop you anymore.
Huh? Is that all you can say? So in the end, justifying your actions with fancy words. Making excuses for why... It's all her fault. I'm done with that! You hear me? I'm not fair. Not. Why won't you forgive me? If you did something wrong, you'd What did I do? Why won't anybody forgive me?
Is acting like this your strategy now? Plus, to be honest, we've run out.
If we don't have any clues, I'm the same as Hajime. But still, the truth is that's why we gotta stick with this until the very end. Hey, Mikan, can I ask, if you're not the killer, then who fabricated that? Like ice? Can you prove it? Wait! Do you have any proof? Because you're just treating me like a killer. That's total. Why does everybody always hate me?
Is this broad really okay?
I'm not the killer. I never. It seems she. But the only one who can find the hole in her argument. So. Why do you get to decide I'm the killer? Please!
We can't think of anybody else other. Than you. Who could have filmed that video?
Oh, do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So... Please forgive me already! Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake. I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you. Who could have filmed that video?
Oh, do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video?
Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight?
There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Oh, do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera angle? Just from that dim candlelight?
There's no way you'd be so pleased for—
Hajime, hey, you're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Huh? Do you have any proof? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body.
Is that really you could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that just from that
There's no way you'd be so please forgive me already!
Hajime, pay close attention and listen well. You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than who could have filmed that video.
Huh? Do you have any? Is the hemp bag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have—
Is that really her? You could tell her body type just from that camera, just from that There's no way you'd be able to make— So please forget—
Hajime, pay close attention and
You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Is the handbag on? Is the hospital gown? Or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan.
Is that really? You could tell her body just from that camera angle, just from that dim candlelight. There's no way you'd be able to make out her body. So please forgive me.
Hajime, pay close attention and
You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer.
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Do you have any? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious?
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Do you have any proof? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different bodies.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that...
We will never give up!
We can't think of anybody else who could have filmed that.
Do you have any proof? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown she was wearing suspicious? Or could it be the hospital slippers she had on?
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different—
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown?
Damn it!
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody else other than you who could have filmed that video.
Do you have any proof? Is the handbag on her head the proof? Is the hospital gown? When she was wearing suspicious. Or could it be the hospital slippers? She had.
Ibuki and Mikan clearly have different body types.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the hospital gown? Just from that video? Just from that camera? Angle? Just from that dim candlelight? There's no way you'd be able to make out her body type! So please forget—
Hajime, pay close.
You're the only one who can point out the killer's mistake.
I'm not the killer!
We can't think of anybody who could have filmed that.
Is the handbag on? Is the hospital gown? Or could it be the hospital?
Ibuki and Mikan.
Is that really your proof? You could tell her body type under the just from that video?
just from that camera angle.
I'll shoot through that contradiction. Mikan, you've committed a major mistake. As I said before many times,
What's wrong?
but I never said anything about the camera angle. So how can you say anything about the camera angle as if you...
The only reason Mikan knew the camera angle Hajime hit is because you're the person who actually filmed.
This is your just reward. The more desperately you argue, the deeper you lied.
Is it true, Mikan? Did you kill Hiyoko and Ibuki?
I was wrong.
That's not it?
I mean, it's impossible. You know that hemp bag Ibuki was wearing when she died? Try remembering the tote bag instead. Ding!
What the heck's wrong with her?
That tote bag. Isn't it the same one that girl was wearing in the video?
How do you know so much about that video?
More importantly, did you know that bag is a limited item that was sold? Hajime saw it too, didn't you? You remember the Usami decal on it, right? Whoopsie! Don't worry about it. Ta-da! There's no mistake. So don't you think it's using one tote bag in both the conference room and the music venue at the same time? It's blatantly obvious that that's impossible. Don't you think? That's why that video isn't fabricated, and I'm not the killer. So you'll forgive me, right?
Taking your stubbornness this far.
Then you're gonna forgive me? Keep explaining it until you forgive me!
This check.
Will you forgive me? You'll forgive me, right? Isn't that right? You're obviously gonna forgive me. understand? Why only me? Please, draw on me! Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive me! Please, draw on me! Do you understand? Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. You're done for! Forgive me! Forgive me! Why only me? You still haven't forgiven me? I'll do anything you want. Please, draw on me. Do you understand? Why only me? Please, draw on me. Can you forgive me already? Forgive me! Forgive me! Please, draw on me. Do you understand? Can you forgive me already? I'll do anything you want. Can you forgive me already? There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in 2 places at the same time. You still haven't forgiven me? Please, draw on me. Forgive me! Forgive me! Why only me? You still haven't forgiven me? I'll do anything you want. Please, draw on me. There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in 2 places at the same time. You're done for! Why only me? Please, draw on me. Can you forgive me already? There's only one bag. It's impossible to use it in 2 places at the same time.
This is the end! Monokuma mentioned this earlier. Whoever bought that bag should have received another one as a bonus prize, which means it's not impossible to use that bag and... So please, just stop making desperate...
Why? Why can't...
It seems a desperate struggle.
Why does everybody always hate me? You should just forgive me already!
Nikon, it's all... After I go over your crime from the beginning and show that you have no argument, please just admit it already. In the end, at least let me believe in you. here's everything that happened in this case. The key to this incident is the surveillance camera video that only I saw. That's why I'm going to start with that. When I went to the hospital with Mikan this morning, I noticed the incoming signal light on the surveillance monitor was blinking ahead of me. When I switched on the monitor, what appeared on screen was a person wearing a hospital gown. That surveillance camera unit was designed for two-way communication. That's why I thought the signal originated from the music video. But that was the killer's In truth, that video was recorded. The killer brought the music venue camera the night before and made their preparations in advance. And then, they filmed that video in the hospital conference room. By doing so, they tried to make me think the incident was happening in real time, when in fact, the crime had already been committed by that point. The person in the footage wearing the bag was actually the killer acting as a fake. I didn't know that, so I went to the music venue and found the hanged body wearing a bag on its head. Seeing the body before me, I panicked and rushed out of there to get the rest of you guys. But that was also part of the killer's trap. After cleaning the conference room, the killer was likely watching the music venue from outside. And, as if they were switching places with me, they went inside and began working on their last trick. First, the killer peeled off the wallpaper covering one of the stage pillars, revealing Hyoko's body. When I first arrived and saw the hanged body, I didn't notice anything strange about that pillar. I didn't expect it to be slightly larger from the wallpaper, or have Hyoko's body hidden in it. Next, the killer destroyed the surveillance camera that was used in the conference room. After destroying it, they mixed it with what was left of the surveillance monitor found at the crime scene. The surveillance camera the killer used was originally brought from the music video. When they brought it, they made sure to destroy its monitor, but they wanted to hide the fact that the camera wasn't at the crime scene. In the end, the killer transformed the crime scene into a closed room. They broke one of the drumsticks from the storage room and placed it near the music venue's entrance. However, they did this to mislead us into believing that the music venue was locked from the... In actuality, the reason the music venue became a closed room was because of the glue. The killer sealed the door with glue and intentionally created a closed room that could be forced open. With that, the killer finished tampering with the crime scene and met up with Fuyuhiko. They helped us force open the music venue door, despite the fact that they personally sealed it. And they made us discover not just Ibuki's body, but Hyoko's son. At the time, they pretended to be surprised, but... Inside, they were probably relieved that their plan worked out. Isn't that right, Mikan? This crime was...
Whoa! Now she's laughing?
It's been such a long time. This feeling, I know it well. Like the floors, this feeling of despair!
Mikan, you... What has happened to you?
Whoa there! Before that, it seems your arguments have reached a conclusion, so let's proceed to our regularly scheduled voting time! then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote. Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Let's go! Well now. Correct!
Damn it. I won't forgive you.
Hey! What's going on?
Hey!
Oh, that's obvious. Hey.
What?
What?
It cannot be!
Perhaps... See? Jeez. Isn't that right? Impossible.
Oh?
Huh?
What I did was for the sake of my belief.
Huh? Huh?
My beloved was the only one never hated. They forgave me and they gave me. I loved them with all my. This is my reciprocal. It's love.
Hey.
Well. How amazing. Could it be?
This is... But... such despair.
Don't fuck with me!
You serious? Hey. This is bad. You.
I am Monokuma!
Hey.
Oh?
Of course not.
Oh?
That is...
Oh? Well... Do you understand?
Hey. Hey, hey! Damn it!
Oh?
Yes, indeed! Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
So it's over, it's real. Now I can go to my beloved, who always I can finally... Please forgive me, the one who's going to die with...
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Let me ask.
Damn it! But... Isn't that right?
Please wait!
Damn it!
Wrong! Come on! Hmm?
You fiend.
Phew! Hey! Hey! Hey, Huh?
Hey!
However,
All right!
Uh-oh. Unbelievable.
Hey!
No way! What's this? All right!
Hey!
listen!
Hey, hey!
Could it be?
Huh? What the?
Yo! I've kept you waiting. Hey, what's perhaps you don't remember my face since we... That's pretty sad, you know? Huh? You too? If you're messing with me, I'll stop doing it to you.
Haven't you?
What do you mean, no? Oh, you mean this... The name's Nekomaru Nidai! I've been reborn in the rivers of hell!
Danganronpa.
The name's Nekomaru Nidai! I've been reborn in the rivers of hell!